You're listening to the Killer Influence Podcast with your hosts, Will and Alexa.
If you're in the music business side, network. Sleep, shower, get up and network. You can never buy enough coffee for somebody.
Yeah, this is going to be a great episode for our listeners, Alexa.
Did he just say coffee? I'm dying for a coffee. Will you go get me one?
No. Okay, it's time for the episode.
But before we jump right into the episode, I wanted to give you guys just a little background knowledge on JD. JD Groover is a Kingsland, Georgia native who has been killing it in the music industry since he moved here in 2017. He started his career by booking country acts like Sam Hunt, Florida Georgia Line, and Cole Swindell. Before catching his big break, JD was literally slinging hot dogs during the week at a local hot dog stand. After being a Nashville resident for 1 year, JD got the chance to join the Gayle music publishing team while tour managing the country artist John Langston. We were really inspired by JD's story, and we know you guys will be too. Welcome to the show, JD.
Yeah, thank you guys for having me.
Yeah, thanks for joining us.
So tell us about growing up in Kingsland, Georgia.
It's a big naval base town, and it had a paper mill, so it was like two different worlds, which was really crazy. Music for me started with my parents. My dad was really into Keith Whitley, Randy Travis, Leonard Skinner, Alabama, that kind of thing, and my mom loved Michael Jackson and Lionel Richie and Bob Seger and all that kind of stuff. So I was like a mutt. Like for music, like I just heard it all, and a lot of you talk to me, you meet me, and yes, I'm in the country world, but like when I'm by myself, I got Kesha playing and like girl pop, and I love it all. So like music has been like my saving grace in life. It's been pretty cool.
So what brought you to Nashville?
I owned a venue for 7 years in Georgia called The Gin, and I was pretty much everybody's first Georgia gig. FGL, Sam Hunt, John Party, known Cole Swindell for God knows how many years. And I've always gravitated towards what's coming, not like what's there already. I was always one of those nerds like, well, have you heard of Morgan Wallen? Like way before Morgan Wallen was even Morgan Wallen. And that's kind of what I like to do. And so I'd book those guys. So one, they were cheap. Two, you treat them good. When they blow up, they'd come back for you. Just being an outlet for them was great. And they can build a name in Georgia. And no one wanted to miss the next FGL. I had 140 people come that night, but 1,000 will tell you that they were there and they saw FGL. So it really was awesome. It was really good to be a forefront in Georgia music like that. So I managed. I had a small percent of ownership as well, and so me and my partners, we would come up here and meet people and kind of gravitated towards that. And it's just like you guys. You came here once, and you're like, wow, this is the town.
Right.
Like there's just something so infectious about coming to Nashville that you leave going, when can I come back? Like you're on your phone or your calendar, like, oh, I can come back in April. I can come back in August. You know, like, and I mean, it's one of the best towns in America.
When did you make the move here?
So I ran the bar for 7 years, from 2010 to 2017. And Cole, actually, back in the day, Cole Swindell, told me what a song plugger was. And I was like, people get paid to like listen to demos and go, hey, this sounds like a Luke Bryan song, and then go give it to him and try. I was like, what? Like somebody has a desk for that? Cole was one of the first people to really grab me and be like, you don't know how good at this you are. I owe Cole a lot for that. So that's what I came to do. And I had booked Langston kind of as a favorite of my fraternity brother, Tyler Horn. He gets a lot of credit for this, and I love him the rest of my life for it. Put him on, and we kind of bonded and hit it off. He asked me to move up, be his tour manager, and I was like, well, until I can get into publishing, like, yeah, let's do this. And that's what I decided to do.
When was that? What year?
2017.
Can you tell our listeners who don't know what publishing is, what your day-to-day looks like?
It changes every day. I work for a company called Gayle. It's owned by Brad Paisley and Chris Dubois, and it's ran by Mark Driscoll. Mark Driscoll used to run ASCAP, and he's a big songwriter guy. He believes in all that stuff, and he's one of the most humble, smartest men you'd ever meet. He took a chance on me. So I'm grateful for that. We have 22 writers. Some of them are artists. Brad Paisley being one of them are artists. CJ Solar, Jeb Gibson, Jordan Fletcher, Baylor Wilson, Jaden Michaels. So I kind of help those guys with their live show or book them rights, and then the writers. I have the hottest writer in town right now, Bobby Pinson. He wrote Burning Man. This week, some of it will be #1. He wrote that with Eric Church. Yeah, it's an adventure. You have all these personalities, and you have to really grasp about what they do and what they write and kind of put the puzzles together. That's the best part of the job is, well, Bobby's good at this, and Jeb is good at this, so let's get them together. Or Red Akins is killer with melodies and Bobby's good with words. Let's do this. So it's a lot of emails and getting with other companies and finding the right combo so you can get a hit song.
Right. So do you think the publishing industry has changed in the last 10 years?
Yeah. Everything's different. Like streaming has changed the whole world. Back in the day, every writer on an album made money. You went and bought an album, you bought all 12 songs at the same time. So the last cut on that record that would never be a single, you're still selling 1 million CDs and you're getting a cut of that. Nowadays, no one's buying albums, and I'm guilty of it too. I don't consume albums like I used to. Honestly, I drive home in silence because I listen to so much music throughout the day. It's the way I decompress. For being such a music guy, I went from always riding around the block and sitting in the driveway to finish a song to let me cut this off and decompress. But yeah, it's definitely changed. Streaming, Spotify and Apple Music and all that, and Pandora even have changed the game where it's harder to get songs cut. It's harder to make money on songs. So it's about getting in the camps and getting in early with people. For example, a guy like Jordan Fletcher there's people who see the potential in Jordan who are trying to write with him because they know when he gets a record, he'll write with those guys forever, and that's how those guys are going to make money.
Yep.
So it's definitely different nowadays. It's hard. Publishing is hard. Getting a cut in general is hard because all these artists want to write their own stuff, which I applaud. You should. That's true artistry. And even Langston hasn't even cut an outside song yet because he wants to write everything. Kane Brown writes everything he does. I get told no 95% of the time.
Yeah.
But it's motivating because when you get that yes, you're like,
nailed it.
Yeah, you did something right. It's really cool. My favorite cut I've gotten so far was with Cole. I'd gotten one with him. Somebody's been drinking, and then we took a trip to West Virginia, and he was done with his record. And we were just, drinking beer, hanging out, just having a good time. We were going to go watch Mountaineer basketball. And he was like, man, play me something good. And I'd gotten this song that Bobby Pinson wrote called All of It that week. And I was like, man, I knew it was perfect for Cole. I knew he was done. I was going to do my best to hold that song for 2 years until he was done and ready to make a new one. And I played it for him. He fell in love. And to his credit, he went in and cut it that Monday. That was Friday night. He went in Monday and then ended up naming the album All of It. So it's crazy. When you win, it's awesome. Publishing's tough.
Yeah.
But I don't see myself doing anything else. So
now to go back to the career timeline. So when you moved to Nashville, did you have a job secured, or you moved here with nothing and your connections? What did that look like for you?
I was talking to a company, and it just wasn't going to work out. It was just getting started. So I moved up here just for Langston. I believe in that guy so much, and knew that he's going to be a big old star.
And you met him through
the venue, bar, whatever you want to call it. So to get by, I actually worked, and it's funny, it's National Hot Dog Day. I actually worked at Daddy's Dogs outside of Losers for almost 9 months before this opportunity came up.
I knew you looked familiar.
Yeah. I love Daddy's Dogs. It's one of the best companies in this town. Sean and Andrew are two of the nicest humans you'll ever meet. You can get it in the daytime. They have a shop in the Nation. This is a free plug, by the way. They have a shop in the Nations and Printers Alley as well. Man, they really let me go to work, and I didn't want to get back into the bar. I knew the bar life is a trap. There's nothing wrong with it, but it is a trap because the money's so good. And I knew if I went back to bartending or something like that, I would be stuck. So got that job, and I would work Monday, Tuesday, Wednesdays, and then go with Langston on the road on the weekends. And I booked CJ Solar to open up for Dylan Scott, and I met a guy named Jake Gear. Hung with Jake, drank some beers with him that night. He was in publishing. He worked at Seagill. Had no idea it would come back around. I'm working the stand one night. Jake Gear shows up and he goes, "What the fuck are you doing?" I was like, "Dude, I'm just trying to get by." He goes, "You still want to get into publishing?" I was like, "Yes." He goes, "Come to my office tomorrow." So I didn't know what was going to happen. So I went, and his angle, which is very smart of a publisher, is he wanted to get Cole songs. And if you know anything about Cole, Cole's one of the best writers in this whole town. He writes everything. And to get him cut outside's tough. It's got to be a great song, like Break Up in the End. Amazing song, Grammy nominated. In my head, I'm like, man, if I could get Cole to even listen to this stuff, they might give me a job. So took a trip to Texas with Cole, pitched him some songs. He held like 3 of them. Cut Somebody's Been Drinking. Jake talked to Chris Dubois and Mark, and they hired me up, man. It was awesome because it was Winterfest in Centennial Park.
Yep.
And it was 9 degrees. The girl that was supposed to work with me for Daddy's Dogs bailed because it was 7 a.m. and 9 degrees. I get it.
Wow.
They wouldn't let me drive this van up the hill. So I'm pushing this heavy-ass car, all these coolers, setting up this tent. It starts snow flurrying. And I'm like, dude, what did you do? You left such a good thing to come up here and sell hot dogs. Like, what the hell? I was so down. It was a Saturday, 3 o'clock that afternoon. My phone rings. It's Mark Driscoll. He goes, "Hey, man, we couldn't wait till Monday. Do you want to come work at Seagull?" I was like, yes. Like, I'll do it for free. Like, you know, like.
Aww.
And it was awesome. I am an emotional guy, but like that always gets me choked up.
I'm tearing up a little bit over here. That's the Nashville dream story.
Yeah, and I'm very blessed over there. It's a good crew. I just today signed a 2-year contract to stay over there, and
wow, congrats!
And, it's cool.
That's amazing.
We got goals. We want to get Bobby Pinson more number ones and get CJ and Jordan a record deal and Jeb, and I got a lot of work to do, so I'm ready.
Would you say that is your career highlight?
My career highlight for Seagull is definitely all of it, honestly, just because Cole's been one of my oldest friends. I think the biggest thing with Langston so far, we played Broadway. Like Luke played, we got to open for Luke Bryan on Broadway. 30,000 people were in the streets. That or we just played Gillette Stadium. It's our first stadium ever. I take that back. The Gillette thing is way cooler. We were in a bar called the Bell in Hand in Boston, and it's the oldest bar in the country. Great venue, great place to go have a beer in Boston. And we ran into Mark Sizemore, who is Luke's tour manager. He's like, "Where you boys staying?" I was like, "Well, we're staying in Boston tonight. We're going to drive in 45 minutes to Gillette." And he's like, "No, go to the hotel, get your things. You're staying on the bus with me tonight." And I was like, "Cool. No drive in the morning. That's perfect." Mark goes, "You want to go in the stadium?" I was like shaking my head, nervous, like, yeah. And I'm thinking we're going to go to the 50-yard line or whatever. He takes us to section 301, last seat, very top. It's raining. We bring a bottle of whiskey up there, and me and Langston just sit there and have a good moment and prayed, and it was good, man. And just to look down was awesome. And Langston actually took his hat off, stuck it behind a seat. We're the early shift on that tour. You know, sometimes there's 5,000, sometimes there's 10,000. So we didn't even know people would be sitting up there. And the middle is set. He looks up. The only 2 people in that section are sitting in that seat. And he stops for a little bit and goes, "Hey, section 301, seat 1 and 2, very top. I left my hat. Y'all bring it down to security. We'll let you in the back and you come hang out with us." It was like one of the coolest.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
It's a cool story, man. So just sit there with him and get that far. I mean, I can go home now and not be content, but yeah, it's cool.
Yeah, I guess it's as well. It's so inspiring to sort of see him, you know, growing up in Georgia and playing in a bar that you managed, and then standing at the back of Gillette Stadium, looking down on all these people that are just like...
It was cool, man. It was cool. And then, you know, so I don't know the exact number. There's probably like 12 to 15 in when he played, and it was a 60,000, 70,000 person show. And just to be in the pit and watch Luke Bryan just be a puppeteer, just Luke's the best in the business. He is the best entertainer, best human you'll ever meet. Like, classiest guy. Like, He's what everybody should strive to be. Yeah, Luke Bryan he can't do any wrong. So
Now, the tour manager side of you, when did that all start?
well, I'd been on the other side when I would book these guys. I would have to talk to their tour manager and set up their week or set up their day with us, logistically and stuff. So I knew like what, as a venue, I expected to know. So it was an easy transition to be like, well, I know how this guy thinks, so I need to have these questions ready. And man, just driving in a van with these other 5-6 guys, man, it's been cool, and we finally got on a bus for the summer and not so much driving. If you watch my Instagram stories, I'm usually driving a van at 4 a.m. trying to get home and blaring old country songs and stuff.
Going to Bojangles.
Yeah. No, I'm a big Bojangles supporter. They know it. They follow me on Instagram. They always comment on my stuff. If I tag them and send them stories, like I'll tag them in a story, and they're always like, "We love you so much." And yeah, it's cool, man.
I've never had Bojangles. Have you, Will?
No.
Never.
And I'm gonna have to have it now.
Yeah.
Well, the beauty of it is, this is an argument John and I get on, because John is so pro Chick-fil-A, and I love Chick-fil-A. There's nothing wrong with Chick-fil-A. But Bojangles is open on Sundays.
True.
And if you're hungover and you can't wake up till 11 or 12, Bojangles has breakfast all day long.
Wow. Man, you've already sold me.
Yeah, I mean, it's all, the beauty is when I was in Tifton, it was like 4 blocks away from me, so I just would go all the time. And now it's like I live in the middle of Nashville and it's on the outskirts, so I have to
make that special trip.
Yeah, and so it's good. I love getting people into it. One of my favorite things is during meet and greets and stuff, they'll bring John Chick-fil-A gift cards. Some people will bring me Bojangles gift cards. It's so awesome. So,
oh wow,
it's always Bo time. That's what I say.
How do you manage going from a 9-to-5 job and then you have to go on tour all weekend?
It's tough. I'm tired a lot, honestly, but I'm very lucky because most people move here and can't even get to do one thing they love. And I get to do 2 things I love. So it's hard. But the beauty of it is, a lot of publishers, they're done Friday at 5. Me, if we're open for somebody, I'm lining up songs to pitch them while I'm on the road. If they get a free time, I can listen. I can get them to listen, or I can book them rights. Or these younger guys who are opening for Langston right now, I'm having them songs ready and building relationships with them. So
it's kind of an advantage.
Yeah,
honestly.
It's a big advantage, and it's a big shout out to Chris Dubois, because he could have easily offered me that job and been like, all right, you got to come off the road, but he's smart enough to go, hey, you do this as long as you physically can. When you're tired, when you're done with it, you got a home, so don't worry about it. So it's good. I mean, I bring my laptop and I answer emails on the road. So there's a lot of days, like Thursdays and Fridays, I'm kind of like juggling both. Like I might not get lunch or something like that, but it's, to me, it's worth it. Like I said, there's 84 people a day that move here, and one of those 84 one of my spots. So you got to work hard.
Yeah.
And jumping off of that, what's one piece of advice you'd give to the new students that are graduating from Belmont or, MTSU? They're getting that music business degree and they're having a hard time getting one job, and you said, I have both.
Yeah, I mean, it's I didn't mean it like in a brag way, but
no.
I like to let everybody know, like, you have to work hard. There's always somebody younger, more talented. I mean, you have to stay up to date with stuff.
More connections.
Yeah, networking is the biggest part. If you're in the music business side, network. Sleep, shower, get up and network. You can never buy enough coffee for somebody. Publisher side, if you're trying to be a songwriter, you need to write every day. Don't ever stop writing. I mean, Luke, Bryan, Colson, they're still writing. Eric Church writes. Eric Church wrote like 100 songs for this album. You know what I mean? And got it down to 12 or 13 or whatever that number is. The people who get to stay here in town work the hardest. And that's all I can say is just work hard and network and write. And, I mean, don't let money stop you. I know I won't say the guy's name because I don't want to embarrass anybody, but there's a prolific songwriter now, crazy songwriter, who would go to Tin Roof and find an empty beer bottle and hold it all night. So it looked like he was drinking and hanging out and having a good time. And he was dead broke just so he can be seen and be out. So it doesn't matter. Like, I'm not telling you to go dig through the trash or anything, but there's ways. If you want to do it, there's ways to do it.
Wow, that's a cool story. What other great stories have happened on the road?
I used to work the spring break stuff for Luke Bryan. in Panama City at Spinnaker's, Dallas Davison would come to the party bus. That was my job. I stalked the party bus, got the ice down the beers. That's how I got to hang all the time. And Dallas would come and have a morning beer with me, and he'd play me all these songs. And he played me Floating Down the Flint River, and I got to hear the demo of that and watch that song just go off. And that was like one of the cool, I was like, damn, that started like on a bus.
Yeah.
And working the farm tours and watching Rhett and Ben Hayslip and Dallas write with Luke and writing songs out there. Dirt Road Diary, which is one of Luke's songs.
Yep.
They wrote that in Valdosta, Georgia. And Luke got on stage. It was so good. Luke played it acoustic that night. He goes, we just wrote this today. And to watch that, they named a tour after it. Like, that was one of the coolest things I've seen. So, yeah, nothing yet, but I'm knocking on wood.
I'm just curious as to how these artists stay so inspired on the road.
Man, I'll tell you this. It's been cool to watch Cole come back to the Luke world. And you can't help but not watch Luke Bryan and go, shit, I want that. I want, like, as an artist, Langston's selling 2,000 tickets a night, and he's living it up. Cole's out there selling 10,000 tickets or more a night, and just to watch 70,000, you're just like, this is a whole different world. So there's ways to be inspired, and I know Cole's been taking notes, and Langston's been taking notes, and I mean, that just fires you up, and that fires me up because I'm like, man, I thought I was doing something cool. And to watch, like, Luke's crew, like, just do it. Like, that's been really, really inspiring. Luke's got a really good crew. Cole has a great crew. Misha, Daryl Dixon, Cody Alexander, tour management and production managers. Like, they've taken Cole to another level. Man, it's been so cool to watch Langston grow from this to this, and then watch Cole go from where Langston was to where he is. And then, watching Luke go from 3,000 tickets in a farm tour to 70,000 in a stadium, you're just like, if you can't get inspired by that, go home.
Yeah.
Literally. Like, I don't know what else you can do.
Yeah.
Go home.
Yeah.
Because this ain't for you.
What are some of the key things that you look for in a hit song?
I'm weird about some stuff. Like, there's different stuff grab me sometimes. A hook can grab me. Melodies are my bread and butter. I can't do them, but like, I can hear them and go, man, that's catchy. I love a good melody. Tracks, like, with good drums. Like, I think drums are so underrated sometimes. That's the part you feel. That's the bass and all that kind of stuff. And Ain't Worth the Whiskey with Cole, it's like, he's got this part. It's like, da-da-da-da, da-da-da-da, da-da. And I'm beating fake drums all night to it. So, like, it all depends on the song sometimes. And you can listen to some serious songs and go, shit, that got me different. Like, words got me. The words got me that time. So, and when you put melody, words, and all that stuff together, and you get something that makes you go, damn, like,
That's when you know.
That's when you know.
I'm a drummer as well, so I could definitely attest to that.
Man.
Sitting at the back, trying to.
That's the one thing
rhythm.
That's the one thing I wish I would have, like, learned growing up, is how to play drums.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't have the coordination for it. Like, our drummer Scott, I'll get up there and mess around sometimes, like, and he's drumming hard and running tracks and fiddling with John's ear sometimes. Like, he's doing 9 things plus watching.
Wow.
So, I mean, it's being a drummer is hard.
Yeah.
Are you a closet singer-songwriter?
I've never written a song. I was in choir. I actually did choir in college as well. They pay for my book, so I was like, yeah, I'll do it. Mm-hmm. So I was like a low bass, so I just did the ba-da-da-da. Like,
yeah.
That was it. But I like singing in the shower. That's about all I do. I sing a lot. I sing in the van. I'm really big into old country, like 90s country. And like I said, my daddy put me on Keith Whitley, and I'm a big Keith Whitley guy. So
wow, awesome.
And that's some sad stuff. If you ever want to just be sad.
Oh, I love me some Keith Whitley, and I love Chris Young's rendition of it too.
I know Brett Eldridge is doing this, and I applaud him because it's natural. But I really do feel like Chris Young is like the Frank Sinatra of country music. The voice is good. He sings to women. Chris Young is he just sold 15,500 hard tickets.
Wow.
And you just go. And he's a guy you forget about sometimes. He's had, I don't know, like 12 number ones or 13 number ones or something like that. Puts out good music, and I love Chris Young. I love his voice. God, he's such a good singer.
Yeah, and you're very supportive of upcoming artists. What new artists are you excited about?
Love Jordan Fletcher. Some of my guys, Jordan Fletcher and Jeb Gibson. They're two studs. They're coming. As far as like new guys,
And they're artists, not just songwriters.
yeah,
right?
they're artists. I mean,
producing it.
they're talented songwriters as well. They're getting holds and cuts and doing some stuff with them. Ray Fulcher, big Ray Fulcher supporter. I used to book him back in the day, and just to watch him like just get better, like it's been great. And now the songs are coming with it, and you're just like, okay, Ray, let's go. It's time. So I love cutting on Ray stuff. Combs is already blown up. I've been a big supporter of Luke Combs for a long time. Ken Bryant's another one who's amazing. Got a little southern drawl to him, which is really cool. Kentucky boy. I will mess this name up, and I'm so sorry, but Sean Steamley, he is great. I'm big on Hardy. I think the world's now, Hardy's not a secret anymore. Travis Denning. Travis started my bar as well. Go watch Travis Denning. He plays guitar. He's left-handed. Great. Allman Brothers feel, voice. Man, he is. And he's writing good songs right now. Adam Hambrick, also amazing. A bunch of the Universal guys are great. So it's kind of what I like cutting on. So
I have to shine light on some of the females in country music. You did not mention any.
yes, you're right. And I'm actually a big supporter of the female stuff. Farron Rachel's, she's amazing. Ashley McBride's album is one of the better ones you'll listen to nowadays. Kylie Morgan, who she just signed her record deal at Universal as well. She's amazing. And then Kaley Hammock. You should really go listen to Kaley Hammock. She is a fireball on stage, great voice. Like, you believe it. She's writing true stuff about her, like her family and all that kind of. And you're just like, damn, like.
I just followed her recently. She has red hair, right?
Yep.
That fiery red hair and that amazing voice.
What's great about Kaley is I remember coming and visiting one time, and when I used to visit, I would go to Broadway before I left and just walk it and be like, damn, like you need to get here one day. I was outside Rippy's one day, and I heard this girl singing. I was like, man, that sounds familiar. And I walk in, and it's Kaley Hammock at 10:30 in the morning at Rippy's. Like the worst shift you can do coming up is 10:30, 11 a.m. on Broadway.
Right.
And she acted like there was 500 people in there. I was just like, damn, she's working hard. And then I get up here and get into see Gayle, and she does a writer's thing at Station N, and like everybody I'm with is just like, man, we're so high on her. And I'm like, damn, well, good. I'm glad you guys are. Now she got a record deal, and she's out on the Live Nation stuff, the Tortugas and the Faster Horses and stuff, and she's getting out there, and she's great. Also, getting off girls, Jameson Rogers is going to be a huge star.
Oh, yes.
Big star. Hunter Phelps as well. Another up-and-coming guy. He's amazing. That's the beauty of Nashville right now. There's so much good stuff coming down the pipeline, and I mean, it's exciting to be here and watch the start of all these kids. So,
how does it go with a lot of the competition? Obviously, that everyone's trying to fight for the same venue or same couple of fans that listen to. That's
the name of the game, competition. That's another thing that should make you strive to want to be better. I mean, it's tough. I mean, you got different aspects of the business. You have publishing, you have management, you have record deals, you have booking, and all these people are fighting for spots. There's only so many spots at a label. So when you get it, you got to go, because they'll drop you in a second if you're not producing. You got to stay on it.
Yeah, 100%. What upcoming tours are you working on right now?
The Sunset Repeat Tour is going to Jacksonville. I used to go to that arena when I was a kid, and now I get to work a show there. Whole family's coming, a lot of friends, a lot of people. So that's what I'm excited about. Like, I get to go home and kind of like show people you can get out.
For sure.
Because when I graduated, I left. I was like, I love home, but I know if I stayed here, when there's nothing wrong, I got tons of buddies, and they'll probably listen to this, and I'm happy for you that you stayed and you had a family and you're working and you're doing your thing, but I know that there was more out there for me. And if I didn't go try, I'd be 50 years old as a plumber or a garbage guy going, shit, you should have done that, you know? So that's kind of why I'm looking forward to going home.
Awesome.
As cool as Langston and Swindell know, that's a big show for me, and they're jazzed up. So when I saw that come across the ticker that's booked, I was like,
wow,
let's go. You know, I watched Dierks Bentley play that arena, Alan Jackson. I watched all these people growing up play there and play at home. And my first show was an Alan Jackson, George Jones show back in the day. My parents took me to. And to get to go home and, you know, somebody from Kingsland did it. That's what I'm looking forward to.
That's going to be a special day.
Yeah. And getting all this Langston music out, because he is riding his ass off. he's making the best music he's ever made, and he did it the right way. He stayed in the van. He did the shitty clubs and the dive bars and built it up to the clubs and built it up to where he is now. And just to see him get his deal, and the song the new song Now You Know goes to radio Monday. I think it's the game changer for him. So just to be a part of that stuff, I mean, like, that's what I'm looking forward to, and being proud of my boys, man. If they win, I win. That's the way I look at it. So, I don't know if y'all saw this, but Luke wrote a handwritten letter to country radio in full support of John. And
wow.
To watch him get behind them, and then, we do a one-off with Cole in Columbus, and Cole, lets him get up and sing a Tim McGraw cover with him. And, I mean, those three love each other, and it's awesome. And what's really cool is Cole found Langston because Cole wrote a song called Beer in the Headlights that Luke cut. And John made a YouTube video of him covering it, and Cole freaked. It's like one of the first times he heard somebody sing his song,
Yeah.
And so there's a whole long story about how they got hooked up and stuff like that. And just to watch all three of them, it's really cool to watch two of my best friends on tour, and then they get off stage, and then the guy I look up to the most in country music kill it. I probably should be doing other things during the show, but I always go to the pit when Luke's on and Cole's on, just because I need to learn too.
Yeah.
And just to watch them flip a switch and go put on a show, man, it's nuts. I'm telling you, man, I'm so blessed and lucky to be in this world, and a lot of that goes to Carrie Edwards, who is Luke and Cole and John's manager, for letting me play a part in all this, and Dustin Eichton, who is Carrie's vice president of KP Entertainment, and Dustin's been my mentor through the whole process. He's the one that told me to quit being a bitch and move up here. He goes, if you want to be up here, make it work, because you're going to thrive when you get here. And
love it.
So I get to call him today and tell him about the contract and
wonderful
and all that kind of stuff.
Congratulations!
Yeah, man, it's good. It's weird.
We're happy to be a part of it too.
Yeah, it's
what
been
a great day.
Yeah, it's been a weird day today. So
it's your perfect time to celebrate in a small room like this.
Hey, man, it's. I think what y'all are doing is cool, because there is another side to the music industry. It's not all the artists. There's, like I said, there's booking, there's management, there's digital, there's photography. I mean, there's just so much. If you want to be in the music business and you're not a singer, there's stuff for you to do.
Yeah.
It's just, taking that chance and taking that risk,
Hustle.
Yeah. I mean, you both know this is a hard time to break through, but when you can crack that door a little bit, it's a win. I always tell people there's a documentary on HBO called The Defiant Ones. If you've never seen it, you need to watch. It's about Jimmy Irvin, who, if I told you the story, you wouldn't believe it, because he's gotten to work with so many people. Bruce Springsteen, he found Gwen Stefani for No Doubt. He found Dr. Dre. He found Eminem. He found all these people, and started Beats with Dr. Dre, and they sold it to Apple. Dr. Dre is like the first black billionaire ever. And he says something in there, and it's a little mantra that Langston and I have. If you ever see anything on our stuff, it says #horseblinders. That means we're really proud of what's going on. And Jimmy Irvin, he said, and I'll quote him directly, he was like, you know why horses wear those fucking blinders? It's so that they don't look left or they look right. They're not worried about what this horse is doing and this horse is doing. They just fucking go. And that's what people should do. They should put horse blinders on and fucking go. And so that's the best advice I can give anybody. It's just strap them on. Don't worry about what so-and-so's doing. You just worry about what's ahead of you. I recommend everybody. It's 4 hours long, but it's worth every penny of it. I'll give you my login so you can watch it.
So I know you have a crazy schedule, but there is a question that we ask every single one of our guests on the show. What is your morning ritual?
Yeah, I mean, it's different. I'm a big Dunkin' Donuts supporter.
Yes.
Love a nice mocha coffee from Dunkin' Donuts. If I can get that in the morning, that's pretty good. But, I like going to work, and I cut on Channel 58 on XM. It's Prime Country. By the time in the morning, the host is playing the top 30 songs from June of 86 or 92 or something like that. And it's like a reminder, when I'm driving in Music Row, I'm like, damn, that started here. That started here.
Yeah.
That's what I like doing. I like cutting on Prime Country and kind of going through that motion. And I'll cut on the regular XM because I love Stormy and I love Mary. And Tommy from The Highway, who's the producer, that's a guy you should definitely have on the air. He's a big supporter of the up and comings. I love what they do, but yeah, I cut on that old country and go, damn, I want to leave a mark like these guys did. There's a publisher, Pat Higdon, we have a writer together with, and he got to tell me all these stories about how he got a Keith Whitley cut and he got a Randy Travis cut, and he would go to lunch with these guys, and I was just like, damn, like, that's so cool. And he flipped it right on me. He goes, you know, one day there's going to be a kid that goes, oh, you had lunch with Cole Swindell and you got him to cut this song and stuff like that. And I was like,
I mean, I'm doing that right now.
yeah. So, I mean, it's cool. Like, a guy like him who's been in the business a long time, like, and still at it. Like, that's why I like that prime country, because it lets me not forget, like, there's a lot of greats before me and there's going to be a lot of people after what's here now. So,
Yeah, make the most of now.
yeah, for sure. I mean, I could leave right now and get hit by a bus. You know, as long as I can be proud of what I did that day. And you ever seen The Office?
Yes.
Yeah.
When Saber buys them, and I forget the old lady's name, but she has the two Great Danes. Michael Scott was going to leave for the day, and she goes, well, that's fine. Are you proud of what you did today? It's supposed to be a funny moment, but that always, like, stuck with me. Like, so I always think about it at the end of the day, like, you proud of what you did? And if I'm not, I stay at work. Figure it out. Crazy that was supposed to be funny and like a jab at him being lazy, but like that's always stuck with me. Like, are you proud of what you did today? As long as I can be proud of that, like, I'll be straight.
I love that. So where can our fans find you on social media?
I don't recommend Twitter unless you want to see my inner thoughts, but at JD Groover for Twitter and Instagram.
Awesome.
Well, thank you so much, JD. You've been a great guest.
If you enjoyed this episode of Killer Influence, please leave any questions or reviews on iTunes, or follow us on Twitter at Podcast Killer or at Killer Influence Podcast on Instagram. Until next time.